Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're doing a bit of a showcase for the new Super Sugo First Robin that did arrive with the New Year celebration. We're taking her into some content and showcasing what she can do as a double hybrid, like a double Robin setup. Now, if you guys haven't seen what I've already done with Robin, I did take her into Revolutionary Army 2 with a bit of a hybrid situation with 6++ Uta. I think like that's probably going to be like her best friend. But in today's video, I just want to sort of talk about what Robin does, where I think she's going to be the most valued unit, and like what she can do in the actual game, because she is a Super Sugo Fest unit, she's a Final Tap legend, and she has come with one of the biggest celebrations of the entire year, that is New Year's. So, what does Robin do? As a captain, she is a cerebral, free spirit character that also boosts quick as well by 5.25 times their attack, HP by 1.25, and then reduces the entire crew's special charge by 1 turn. If a character uses a conditional boost, she'll extend it by 1 turn, and if she launches her special, her captain ability changes to a 5.5 times captain, and additionally adds 30% damage reduction on top of everything else that she actually does. So, as a captain, she's a pretty stock standard captain. 5.25, pretty solid attack multipliers. Giving cooldowns is nice to see. Cerebrals and Free Spirits, very, very strong classes. Quick is getting a little bit better, but it's not exactly there. It's probably still the weakest color in the game, if I'm honest. And then when you use her special, she gets a bit more of an attack multiplier at 5.5. She has a bit more, but does a bit of damage reduction, and then she still has that extending of the conditional. As a captain, she's kind of boring, if I'm completely honest. She's just kind of power, and that's pretty much it. The extending the conditional boost is kind of like why, and the damage reduction is kind of like, I don't really know why it's there either once you actually use her special. When you use her special, though, she cuts all enemies' HP by 20% that ignores defensive effects, and if your captain is cerebral, she allows you to stack 2 different types of conditional buffs for 3 turns, but if you have a free spirit captain, she'll allow you to do it for 1 turn. She'll then boost damage dealt to defense down enemies by 2.25 for 2 turns, and if the enemy has immunity to defense down status or full immunity, she'll just apply an 80% defense reduction for 1 turn, and if they have no immunity, she does it for 2 turns. So, as you can see, like, if you don't have full immunity, she's kind of used in a way to get 2 turns of a conditional boost if you use her as a captain. But honestly, the sort of synergy in the way her captain and her special works is kind of janky. And honestly, as a sub is where you'll probably see the most play for this unit. But a 5.5 times captain to quick, mainly, is very, very powerful. So she definitely can be used as a captain, but like I said, I find that she'll probably be most used as a sub. As you guys have probably seen on the channel, I did upload a few shorts with like some really big Unga Bunga damage that the quick team is going to now be able to produce thanks to Robin. And honestly, as long as you have a cerebral captain or a free spirit captain, you are going to be able to use the 2 different types of conditional boosts no matter what. Not to mention that, but she also gives a guaranteed conditional boost for at least 1 turn. The downside to her is that she only reduces defense down by 80%. And in 2023, it's kind of like, why? Like, why are you reducing defense by 80%? Why not just be 100%? It's not that big of a deal. It's not that game-breaking for it to be 100%. And it would give her so much viability in so many other aspects of the game besides just Super Boss Kazuna or something like that. But for Super Boss Kazuna, Robin is going to be an absolute demon, no pun intended. On any cerebral team, on any free spirit captain based team, you're going to find a way to bring her because having 2 conditional boosts is so good, and she automatically gives you that other conditional. If you're running something like Nami as a captain, there you go, you've got another conditional boost. If you're running Sop on the team, that's another conditional boost as well. She does have a super class. She's a super class cerebral, and to activate her superclass, you just need any Straw Hat, Yamato, Sabo, or Koala on the crew. And when you use her superclass, she reduces cooldown by 1 turn, buffs orb boost by 0.25, and boosts quick cerebral free spirits orbs by 2.5 for 1 turn, and changes cerebrals into super cerebrals. I don't know why she buffs orbs by 0.25 before she gives the orb boost. I think it's so counterintuitive, and if she gave an orb buff and then increased it by 0.25, it would allow her to be a 2.75 times orb boost with her superclass, which is actually insane. And if you already have an orb boost, a higher orb boost, you then still have viability with this because you increase it by 0.25. So I don't like the non-synergy there. However, it is a nice superclass for most pieces of content, because 2.5 times orbs is going to get you through most stages. It obviously doesn't trigger interrupts if the enemy has an interrupt to an orb boost, and you can definitely get away with like a 2.5 times orb boost for majority of content. The only reason I dislike this is for stuff like Super Boss, where you'd have to bring a different type of orb boost to get a higher orb boost with her her plus effect. But she obviously synergizes really, really well with something like Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo, so you can just use their plus buff instead, and that can also work. She's a final tap legend as well, and at level 5, as long as you have any Straw Hat, Yamato, Sub, or Koala on the crew, she's going to boost the chain multiplier by 2.25 times on that final hit. So this is basically the same as Utu's, except she doesn't give herself a matching orb. This final tap it's good, it's just not amazing. Like, it's probably the third best final tap that we have, and on the quick team, it's definitely going to see some play. However, it's not sort of crucial that you have it maxed out. However, the final clip you guys will see in today's video would really, really benefit by having a final tap Robin at level 5. However, with Uta 6++ being a thing, you can pretty much just use her. She's another really, really good option for that particular team that you'll see at the end as well. And if you guys have seen the shorts that I uploaded with like the 53, 55 billion damage, it's not going to change too much if you have Robin as your friend captain or your own captain, let alone having something like Uta on the team anyway. I do think the team that you'll see at the back end of this video does the most damage that a quick team can output, but obviously that is going to be subject to stuff like debuffs and stuff like that as well. As a Sailor, she reduces Crew's cooldown by 1 turn at the start of the fight, an absolutely amazing Sailor ability, very similar to the waifu unit, so this is actually amazing for speedrunning content as a sub as well, and she boosts Cerebral and Free Spirit's attack and recovery by 100. She has the limit break abilities of Recovery Bind by 7 turns, heals 2 times recovery when your HP is 50% or below and you hit a perfect, and then she has that final tap. Her support is very interesting as well. As a support unit, she goes on anyone that can launch a conditional boost, and she'll buff that condition by 0.2, going on any Straw Hat, Yamato, Saba, Koala. This just further helps Sop, but if you don't have the Brook support, but if you have the Brook support, you're probably going to run him over this support, but look, it is definitely an option. Her Rumble abilities are quite interesting. You guys have already seen me use her in Rumble, so I'm not really going to touch on this too much. She doesn't break the whole quick team meta. Her burst is kind of a little bit interesting at nerfing Driven and stuff. I didn't really get a chance to try her in Grand Party this time, but look, we might sort of come back to her in the next Grand Party if the rules sort of benefit her. Free Spirit was buffed, but like, Free Spirit don't have too much of like a team besides the quick Cerebral Free Spirit he kind of set up. Nevertheless, Robin is a very, very solid captain, but as a sub, she is going to see so much play in Super Boss Kazuna. Even on speed farming teams as well, she's definitely going to be very, very good. Basically, any like content that puts defense up, you can use her to set defense down by 80%. You then get a conditional boost to that as well, so that kind of makes up for the 100% defense down. But this is still going to be very, very powerful. I wouldn't rely on it as your defense down. If it has 100%, it would have been so much better. But it does allow her to use other subs like free-to-play 5+ Uda, get like 6 turns or 8 turns of attack down, Bind and Despair removal with like every single turn. You can do some really, really cool things with Robin, and to get her superclass is easy. She synergizes amazingly on Cerebral teams, she synergizes amazing on Free Spirit teams, and she's just a very, very powerful unit for those really, really big Unga Bunga damage teams. So speaking of Unga Bunga damage, I do believe this is probably going to be the best setup that you can get for a quick versus strength super boss. Now, we're over on stage 18 of the Mihawk Forest, and this was the only place that I could find like 6 units and like really sink my teeth into some big damage. However, we don't have the final tap of Robin active here because we're not on the final stage. With this team, we pretty much have every single buff under the sun. We have the resistance down with the super switch of Sop. We have the base stats to Cerebral, Free Spirits and Shooter characters by 1,250. We then have a monster color affinity buff by Shanks, which we buff with his super type. We have super type, we have super class, we have an attack boost, we have an orb boost, we have a chain boundary, we increase our orb boost, we have 2 conditionals, which is actually wild, and we have a massive chain boost. As you guys will see here, and I will pause this video once we get there, we have a 2.5 times super tandem boost as well. As you guys will see, we're doing absolute crazy numbers here, like disgusting numbers. Now, as you guys will see, we finish up at a 7.72 chain, like, lock. Well, that's what the chain finishes at. Remember, with Robin and her final tap, she does a 2.25 times chain multiplicative boost. So this will finish at like 14, 15 point something. And then this big old number right here being 53 billion will be much, much higher. Now, with my other shorts, I did max out at like 55.4 billion. And that was without Uta's final tap, being the 2.25. So that probably does a little bit more. But with Uta on the team, we don't have Law because we had to bring Robin as a sub. And the reason that that's actually a bit detrimental to us, I'm just going to play that back one more time. The reason having Law, like the detrimental part of not having Law on the team, is we finish up at a 6 times chain multiplier, which means with the 2.25, we're finishing at around 13, and we're not hitting with that 15 times. Remember, Robin is probably going to be boosted in the new event as well, so she's going to be hitting very, very hard. Uta might be as well, but this Robin that I had here as well was not level 130, Limit Break expanded, like my Uta was in that previous video. So like I said, I think this will definitely be the most damage output that we will see for a quick base team against Strength Super Boss. Obviously, this team isn't just going to be like, oh, sweet, we have Strength Super Boss, we're going to take this team, because obviously debuffs come into play and all that other stuff as well. But these are the characters that give you literally every single buff that you need to do as much damage on Super Boss. Like, look how many buffs we have here. We have Yamato's new damage buff. We have Tandem Orbs hitting harder. We have Wano Orbs on our left column as well. 2.75 color affinity, super type, super class, and it's just absolutely bonkers what you guys can do if you can bring these types of characters and get all of these buffs. But that's going to wrap up the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me. If you are new to the channel or you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button. Let me know what you think of Robin in the comment section below. Most importantly, though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.